Alrighty. TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. It's the end of the week. Hooray for us. And see, it says now playing. So I guess I gotta go like that. Oh, that's interesting. And so here we are. Oh, that's interesting. That's a smaller picture. I won't be able to see the chat line. I'm not seeing the chat line. Something's wrong here. Let's see. Cancel. Let's refresh this. Anyway, I'm trying to get to the chat line at the same time. Let's try it this way. There we go. Now we're in the chat line. Oh, that was interesting. Sent me into a whole new different way. All right, now. Hey, now. That's right. Hey, now. All right. What are we looking at there? That was Doc's looking at short-term stock indices at the moment. Let's go to the currencies. There it is. There's the Swissy. You can see it on J4X right below it like that. Some red going on there. You can see it's, like I said, this using the Hinky-Ashi is as a lagging indicator to my dots, but at least it's something better than nothing. Doc always looks at it that way. You know, glass is always half full with me. So, you know, this way you can use J4X to try to have a flavor of where Doc's head's at. As I take a bite of an apple and chew on some peanuts. There we go. All right, sorry about that, traders. So now, you can see this is the on the Chicago Quant chart. And you can see it's definitely moving back up again. We're in a weekly buy. It looks like it's going to easily close off cleanly in the weekly buy side. And you can see now we're going back over into the daily buy again in the Swiss franc versus the dollar. And we've been using this now for about 3 or 4 months to kind of keep an eye on where the dollar is going exactly. And then, what else can we say about that? You can see here on J4X, just like we've gone down, you know, with our white line, and you can see it here on J4X, the white line is down, you know, same thing. And it has not pierced the dotted line yet, but it'll get there as long as we're staying firm on ours. Sooner or later, this will catch up. And so that's what we're looking at there right now. I saw the 10-year bond slide into the up to the 1.60 yield, an interest 1.1 and over 1.5% interest now, 1.6, and supposedly I never take these things serious, but there is money lined up, a little nervous past the 1.6, and it's kind of surprising. I'm not sure why they would be that more nervous or less. We've got trillions now, traders across the planet, parked in all kinds of investments, in all kinds of directions. It's become, I can say this, I'm spoiled in the fact that I have experience from the old era of investing, pre-2008. And then I have some experience right on the edge of the listed derivative world, okay? The 1970s. And so it gives me two perspectives. The pre to post derivative world, where they created listed options and then they had stock indices and so forth going into the early 80s, and the whole bit, in that 3 or 4 year window, changed the dynamic and volatility of marketplace in general. And currencies, I was trading currencies in the early 80s. And or maybe even, I guess you could say even earlier, in a sense of as a civilian, not as a trader, just being a foreign student, having to deal with American versus domestic currencies at the time, being a foreign student. But trading currencies, I started trading currencies in '81, and it was a whole different era. It was a much more demure, more organized universe. And so anyway, the two eras, the listed derivative era, which brought in the volatility, and then the 2008 collapse of the financial system, which we're living through right now, which is a heck of a lot more fun than the 1929 depression. Let's put it that way. Hey, Andy, how you doing? So it's interesting to see this, and so we're seeing this type of action now. Here we are. There's trillions of dollars lined up and all over the place by central banks. And bond vigilantes are worried about 1.60. It's awful hard to understand that stuff. When when the talking heads and the financial channels say things like that, and the newspapers and all say that, it's like, what? That's odd. I mean, excuse me, 1.6. I would think they would be totally paranoid at, let's say, 2%. But there's a lot of weight on that 1.6. In other words, 1.5 in a very leveraged, 20 trillion. We know there's 18 plus trillion parked doing nothing in a minus return. So in other words, it's not making any money at all. It's losing money. $18 trillion sitting around doing nothing, parked in banks, in bonds, government bonds. As a matter of fact, this morning I saw, what was it? The French bond is minus. Excuse me. The 10-year is minus 10. The 10-year boon is minus 0.3132, and then what was it? The Italian was plus 0.61. And so then you have the 10-year United States, which is now trading at 1.6. So real disorganized universe. It's awful hard to take serious some of these statements that people make. And I'm just trying to give. Hey, Timothy, how you doing? Sir? Me, sir? Nah. Just call me Doc. I'm just chill, or Mur, or whatever. I'm just chill. So, here we are this morning. And to some of you, it's heading into tomorrow, right? Like Australia and that region. You guys in New Zealand and all, you guys are across the date line. It's like early morning. So, Saturday. So anyway, that's my opinion about all that right now. It's hard to believe they get crazy about it, but that's where we are. And that's why the markets are a little disheveled, not much. Supposedly there's 320 billion of readjustments going to happen at the end of the month, for the quarter. And it has to be sold in the equity market. Now, how that influences the currency market will be very interesting. I guess depends on where it comes from. And then vice versa. At the same time, there's like $1 trillion or $2 trillion sitting in savings, which is just waiting to get into the marketplace. So there's buyers. One situation, you have buyers dramatically in one side of it. On the other side, you have some selling that needs to be done just to adjust the portfolios and a shift for the quarter. So a lot of action, a lot of fun, a lot of good trading. We do a lot of quantitative success here, so it's kind of fun to do it. It makes it easier for us, that's for sure. I couldn't do this if I couldn't be right. That would be a drag. And that's where we are. Hey, you're BZ. Doc, it is amazing how long you have been in the business. Theodore Dresser, financier? Theodore Dresser's financier. I have to Google that one. Who's Theodore Dresser? It sounds familiar, though. I remember Dresser Industries. I do remember Dresser Industries. I think I traded the stock at one time back in the 80s. It might have been on the trading floor at one of the exchanges, maybe the American or the Philadelphia, when I was a member of one of those. Dresser Industries. I do remember that. Theodore Dresser's sisters Carrie. Theodore Dresser. Okay, let's see what this says. Theodore Dresser, Herman Albert Dresser, was an American novelist and journalist of the naturalist school. Cool. His novels also featured in character. Born in 1871. Died in 1945. Heart attack. Bummer. So, there used to be a Dresser Industry. I wonder if he's any relations to it. Let's see. And it was one of those industries, one of those companies that was really respected, enormously respected. Very successful. I forget what they like, industrial equipment maybe. I think it was. I think that's what it was. At Granger, let's see, Dresser Theodore, the Industrial Age, Dreschen International. International manufacturer companies specialize in the design and manufacturing of property products, both original equipment and after. Yeah, it was an equipment manufacturer. It was a real quality one. It was kind of like like you would consider it like, you know how J.P. Morgan back in the old days, it still is good, but J.P. Morgan, the private bank, was like the class of the class. It was a really good company. Real good bank. It was always considered a step above caliber. So, hey George, how you doing? Yeah, that's it. Right. I had a friend that had a dresser. What was it? What do you call those things? Front end loader. The big machines. He had a dresser one. Oh, it was a heck of an interesting machine compared to, say, Case, the big front end loaders of Case, or let me think, who else? Bulldozer? No, who was it? There was another one too. But it was Case. I think it was. Compared to like a Case one, he had a dresser one, which was really wild. I remember one time he got his bulldozer stuck on my farm, and he had to bring his dresser front end loader over to save it. End loader, yeah. They were a great company. They were like better than Case. They were equal to or better than John Deere at one time. They were like really Oshkosh. Is that what it is? Yeah. One of his characters, Frank Cooperwood. Oh, you think BZ? You think I'm like one of his characters? Huff. There was a good one. I used to have a Huff. I bought a Huff sitting mower, riding mower back in 1967. What an interesting machine that was. When sitting mowers weren't exactly the most popular thing. Hell, people were still pushing little devices that cut grass by the momentum of the wheels turning the blades. Yeah. Yeah, but I remember I traded the stock too. Dresser Industries was a really solid company. They probably got bought by somebody nowadays because I put it in there. It barely came out. It's it could be involved there still. But anyway, that's memory lane. It's Friday on Dukascopy. A lot of times we used to do lots of fun stuff. Nowadays we we do 5 days a week of real stuff. Yeah. So I guess I'm a character. You think, Frank? You think BZ, YERBZ? You think I'm like the character Frank Cooperwood? Let's Google him and see what that says. Could be interesting. Let's see. Go like that there, go like that there, and then go like that, and then here we go. Let's see what that says. Frank Cooperwood. The Philadelphia into which Frank Algernon Cooperwood was born was a city of 250,000. Okay, so let's see. This is one of his characters, huh? I'll have to check that out. Stoic. I like that. I like those words. Stoic. Maybe he's a real live person. There's an obituary for him too. Let's see. Cooperwood books. Frank Cooperwood books. Here's a quote. Let's see what quotes are from it. Frank Cooperwood quotes. Don't aim at success. Oh, I see. I see. I see someone played him. What's his name? I can't think of his name. The guy played Kaiser Soze. Oh, it's on Netflix. Interesting. All right. Well, we'll have to check that out. It could be very interesting. I think I'm very passive and friendly myself. So, all right. Let's go back to the chat line there. Okay. All right. Now, so that's where we are. You can see that with the dollar is going up again. And I guess it's because of the interest rates. And you would think that let's see. The stock markets were down from it a little bit. Now they're kind of flattish, I think. Let's just take a quick look at the stock market for the fun of it. We can go back to the stock market through the list, but we'll go through the currencies. I just want to see where they are. Is it that one there? Let's do that. S&P's down only 14.5 points now. The NASDAQ was down almost 270 points at one point. I think it was that. What's the low? The low is 776. So that's at 2481. Yeah, so it was like 260 points down. Now it's down to 181. All right, let's go back to the currencies. Check out the euro. There's the euro moving down again, but still in the daily buy, but in a weekly sell. So we couldn't take the long. Longs could not take, or let's put it this way, traders could not take the long last night, even with the daily buy, because why, traders, again? We're in a weekly sell. That's right. And then the cable, now that one had gone into the buy here, and now it's all the way back down to it again. It did make a winner chicken dinner when it first gave it to us, and we are, why could you take this long here, traders? Because we are in a weekly buy. That's right. And then, let's see what else we got going on there. So that's the euro, and that's the cable. It looks like, let me just go back to the euro. It looks like the euros, if they're just going to hang around here, it's going to stay in a weekly sell for another week. And for the cable, the British pound against the dollar, obviously it looks firm, and it is flirting with a weekly sell as we speak. Not weekly, I'm sorry, daily sell, but nothing major there. Hence the reason I always say, when you get a position on and you're making money in it, take it off and put a stop in. You know, do one or the other. Take some of it off and put a stop in. Walk away with some do-re-mi, and before you know it, you keep on building it up. You got a lot more do-re-mi than normal. And that's usually the way it always works out in the end, traders, is if you're always taking profits, you're going to stay in business, and then you do something stupid like make a lot of money accidentally, even more, because you've been disciplined. But if you keep on shooting for the fence and the wall and the rounder or the sixer, or in cricket, you know, you're going, or the home run in baseball, if on every swing you're going to be striking out a lot. All right, let's drift over to the Turkish lira, and we'll see what's going on there. Let's see, Turkish lira is bouncing up again. Look at that. Let's widen it out a little bit. We had come in this week. I guess, was it, that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? No, it came in on a buy right there. We're in a weekly buy. It's still climbing up. Then on Tuesday, we went into the sell. So you couldn't be long and you couldn't get short because, again, why, traders? We're in a weekly buy, right? And then it fell down, so you didn't feel any of that pain, which is nice. And now we're doing the flirting again. We've got the little volatility signal even going on with the red and the green. So we're pushing back up there on the Turkish lira. Now, what we do from there is we drift over to Canadian, and there is the Canadian. Came in a daily sell now for the last 4 days. We are in a weekly sell, so that's okay. It's popping up a little bit right here, you know, that little weakness going on. And usually what we do is we try to put the, we take out the crystal ball, and what we say is that when we see a Canadian that's heading down, which is gaining in value against the dollar, it usually shows some firmness in the oil market. Here you could say it's almost like an unchanged. And then we go look at the NASCAD, or the loonie trade right there, the loonie currency trade, and that is in a sell. So it says that there should be pressure on the oil. So now what we'll do is we'll drift over to oil, unless somebody wants to see something. We will just and if you want to see something, interrupt. And if you want to see Canadian again, or if you want to go see you know British pounds again, or you want to see something new, just shout it out. You don't even have to raise your hand. Just shout it out. You know, we'll just go back to whatever it is. And there it is right there. There's the crude. You can see we got a green dot going on. It looks relatively unchanged. Closed yesterday at 91. Today's trade, right now it's 76, so it's down 15 cents. So it's nothing major going on there. Let's give it a refresh. There we are. And we're in a buy for just 1 day there. And we're going to save that. And there we go. We'll pull that down. Grab a hold of that. There we are. And we'll save that. And so then that's the way that is rolling. Now let's take a look at natural gas. This time of the year, it's funny to see it acting, just having good activity is nice, you know. You can see it's been in the daily buy for a couple of days, and it hasn't gone anywhere, but it's almost like lost money. Why, traders? If it had been in a weekly buy, you would have been long here. But are you? No. Why? Because we're in a weekly sell now for 2 full weeks. So you can't take the longs. You just got to make sure you just take off your profits. Or in this case here, if you were in the short from here, Then what would happen is when you saw that, you just make sure that you're not short anymore. So you lock in the do re mi if you haven't already locked in the do re mi. Give it a refresh. And so that's where we are with the natural gas. And then now we have another one up there we can play with, and that is the Robo, the automobile oil or gasoline that is used to feed the automobiles to make their wheels go round and round and round. This thing's been really trending well. Went into the weekly buy way back here. You can see we went into the daily buy right there. So it's been a winner chicken dinner again. And why could you buy that, traders? Because it's in a long week, or just in a weekly buy. Not long, but just in a weekly buy. And this is the May oil. All right. And we'll save that. Now we can go back to the currencies and we'll take a look at some of the other action that we've been watching in the currencies. Let's take a look at the ruble. There's the ruble still being down. You can see we've been in a sell here for a few days, and why we can take that? Because it's been in a weekly sell for 2 weeks. So there's a little weakness going on in there. I think the yen slid into a daily sell yesterday, yeah. But we're in a weekly buy, so you couldn't take the short anyway. And we're already climbing back up into the buy again. So we'll see if that goes into the buy. And then what else we got going on here? Let's take a look at, let's look at Aussie. Aussie's in a daily buy for a couple of days. And at the same time, it's in a weekly buy. So traders, you know, here was the buy right there. And it's a winner chicken dinner. And that's how we roll around here. We just follow the quantitative analysis of the mathematics, or the consciousness of the mathematics, or the mathematics of the mathematics. The Euler of the mathematics. Yes, indeed. All right. And from there, we usually do is, what do? We drift over to the metals. Why do we drift over to the metals? I guess we do when we go from Australia, you know, because it's a big mineral country. We go and take a look at the metal complex, which is right there, yeah. So, first one we'll look at is Silverato. You can see we are pushing through the sell side of that again. See this, Robin? I mean, really. I mean, all our work, your and my work, keeps on screaming that it wants to get going. They just cannot get that thing going. I mean, they just cannot. Let's see. Say hello to Andy. I did say hello to Andy, didn't I? I thought I did. Hey, Andy. Where's Andy at? Let's see. What did I do there? There it goes. Let's see. I did say hello to Andy. What did Andy say? He said hi to me. That's it. He didn't ask for any. He didn't ask for anything. Andy, do you have a desire to see anything particular? I can put it up on the screen. But that's a real disappointment. You know, Robin, we keep on seeing the strength try to come out in this product, in the metals, and they just roll it over. They just don't. And it's been in a weekly sell now for weeks upon weeks since, like, what's that, the first week in January. You know, I mean, it just refuses to get any legs. They just cannot get these metals to go. And I was saying to Robin a couple of days ago, wouldn't surprise me if it has a lot to do with the cryptos. The cryptos have really grabbed a lot of that sector, which is, you know, fine with me. You know, it's picking up the slack from the disappointment of the metals people. Now you can see here we got gold now after these 2 days of, they've changed the quotes on this thing twice, and we were in a buy for that, but we couldn't take it anyway because we're in a weekly sell. You know, you can see that for a while now. We went into the weekly sell back here in that same week as the silver did in the first week of August. January. And you can see here we're threatening for the daily sell with no problem. You know, you can see here the history, bad math in here made this thing go down. When we first got this, it was a buy signal here, and then they took out the low, and the low was something crazy. This day right there, the low was like 67, and here they're showing a low of 709. It's like, what? Not 1667? Something's wrong there. But anyway, that's what's going on with gold. They're putting pressure on it to head back down again, and that's why cryptos become more and more in favor with everybody, is because they're just a much more transparent product. Oh, here we go. Partially waiting for the grains. Oh, just shout it out. Now you don't have to raise your hand. You don't have to wait for anything. If you want to see something, just shout it out. This is a trading pit. I call this the cyber trading pit. Anything can happen in it at any given time. So if you want to see a grain, just shout it out. We'll go take a look at one. We usually head over to the grains towards the end. So, I mean, it's nothing to start it early. I don't have any problem at all getting involved in the grains. There's copper. You see that there. So choose a grain and I'll look at it. We'll open it up and take a look at it. Or you can just, we'll get there. We'll do some grains in a little while. Either way, if you're enjoying just listening, be my guest. You know, it's Doc is always on a roll. I'm ready to hit the comedy clubs and go stand up on the with a mic on the stage. Doc's ready to be crazy. All right, and you can see here copper holding on. And Robin was mentioning this about 4 or 5 weeks ago. If they're going to do all this electric stuff, you know, electric cars, electric planes, electric bicycles, they're going to need armatures. And if you're going to have an armature, you need copper. And obviously that is the reason why we see a much more firm copper. And that would make a lot of sense. You can't do Maxwellian mathematics without copper. That's pretty much what it comes down to. All right. So let's drift over to now where we go from here. We did the metals now. So what we do is we slide over to the currencies one more time again. Make sure we've taken a look. I wanted to look at peso today. I saw, you know, the Mexican president came out and told Mr. Biden or his twin or whoever was going on there, but you guys are messing it all up on the border. You can see here it's been in a sell for a couple of days, which is cool, but we're in a weekly buy, so you can't take the short. You can only, like, it went into the daily buy, I guess, like right there. And so, you know, it's just telling you if you're holding on forever on one of my buy signals or one of the Chicago Quant buy signals, you know, and you didn't take any profits, one thing is for sure, you knew then, take a profit. Please take a profit. Cool. Windmills. Windmills. What was windmills? Let me think. Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah, those armatures up in the windmill. Yeah, they need copper. You're right. They do. They need it. And so that's where we are with the... I wanted to see what the peso was doing. And so then, let's see, what other currency do I want to stare at on the end of the week here? Oh, let's see what that Israeli shekel was doing. We've had a couple of people ask about that. It's been interesting. Okay, so we're still in a weekly buy. Let's give it a refresh. It's a real good trending product. It's like the Zolti, you know. And it went into the sell a couple days ago. And look at it. It's trying to lift back up again into a buy. Interesting. What else is there? We had spotted a couple interesting pairs trades that had really good continuity to them. The GBP, JPY. Another one. Look at the nice continuity in that. You know, you're in a weekly buy, it goes into a buy, you win. Goes into a daily buy again, you're in a weekly buy, you win. You go into a daily buy and a weekly buy, you win. That's the key. Remember, traders, we don't trade the trade, we trade to make money. That's the whole idea. The idea is to make money, not to just to trade. That's exactly what it is. So that's okay. That's cool. So why don't we do this? We've done that. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin. That's what we do then. We usually drift over to Bitcoin, and from Bitcoin we take a look at the stock indices. And so there's the Bitcoin. Ah, interesting. They've reloaded it, haven't they? Okay, there it is. That's better. So it's been in a daily buy from here, and it looks like it's flirting today with the sell. That's what's going on. So it's been in a buy from this move here. We're still in a buy. Oh, yeah, at one point at the beginning of this week, it had pushed itself into the sell. Let me remove that. And you can see the weekly is still up. And you can see on the fact check spreadsheet, it's been in a weekly buy now for 6 weeks right there. So, and 4 days in a buy. Oh, no. Yep, 4. Okay. And just flirting with a sell. We'll see how that plays itself out by the end of the day. And then what we do is we drift, because again, there's cryptos intermingle with the metals and at the same time stock indices. You know, we go over to the stock indices and check out what's going on there. And so you can see here is the NASDAQ 100 playing again with its daily sell. We're in a weekly sell. Doesn't look like it's going to change direction there. So it looks like we're going to finish off another week in the weekly sell. and the daily sell. We put in the weekly sell this week when it was in here, and we put the signal in at the end of the week. And then let's see, save. And then what we're going to do is we'll take a look at the S&P 500 right there and underneath it. And you can see that is flirting back and forth. It's just underneath the zero line and looks like it wants to go back into the weekly sell after being in a weekly buy. And you can see here it was the winner chicken dinner. That was the first buy right there. And I guess what it did is I'm not sure what happened here on the bad data or what, but in the end result is that it's I guess we're having it there, and I guess we should have had a buy and then a sell. I guess that's how it plays. So it goes like this: buy, and I'm not sure why we didn't put a sell in there. A sell, and then it's back into the buy again, and now it's trying to go back into the sell today, but nothing too damaging. It's just down a little bit, and so that is the S&P 500. And then, let's see, drift over to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And she's been in a buy for the 5th day now. Back in the weekly buy from last week's 1 week in a sell. And it's now all-time highs as usual with this thing of late. It just doesn't let go. They just keep on taking it higher and higher and higher. And it's only a 30 stock index. And, you know, there's 6 of those 30 are NASDAQ stock, so it's kind of a plural index nowadays. And so that's where we stand with this product in particular right there. All right, and then we'll go over and take a quick look at the 30-year bond right there. You can see that. Ew, look at that. They knocked it down. That's right. It has to be going down because interest rates are going up. Exactly. And so they're pushing it into the sell as we speak. And we're in a weekly sell anyway, so you couldn't take the buy. All you could do is, you know, not be short. And that's usually the way it always works around here. Because, so again, why traders? Because we've been in a weekly sell and interest rates all the way back here at the first week of February. On this week here, they went into the sell. And you can see it's been working its way down. And when this goes down in value, interest rates rise in value. So interest rates from here have been going up in value. And that's where we are there. And I imagine the 10-year is looking the same exact way. Let's see if we can see the 10-year right there. Yeah, 10 years doing the same thing. Let's give it a refresh. And that's the action we're seeing there. GBP Swissy. We had that. You know, we've used that. Let's check that out. That's another one of those placid ones. I like that. Let's see. Where are we going from here? Let's go to there. There we are. GBP Swiss. I think we converted it into something, didn't we? There it is. Now it's the Euro Swiss. We did. We had it on there, and then we pulled it off for something else. Maybe it was the NZD. Let's put it in the NZD and take a look. Format. And go like so. Like that. And then we'll go through it together. There we are. All right, now we can clean it up at the same time. So you can see here it went into the buy there. And then what we'll do is we'll start putting the lines in. So it goes into a buy here. And it becomes a winner chicken dinner. Over it did close higher the next day. Gave it a little capitulation there for a little bit. And then kept on riding. So it's a winner chicken dinner. Then it's a sell. Can't take it because why traders? We're in a buy. And it goes into a buy again there, and it looks like it closed at what 21.58, and the high that day is 21.59. So that is, I would say, a loser. Well, actually, it depends, but yes, in the end result, it's a loser. Let's put that right there. It goes into a sell. There's a loser, so it's a 1-to-1. That's a rarity. And let's see, then it goes right back into the buy and makes you all your money back again, which is nice. And then it goes into a sell there. And then you don't take that short, of course. And then it goes into a buy right here. And again, it's like now we're 3-to-1, so that's cool. We're winner. Let's see. Let's move that out of the way. We can move that out of the way. And we can move that out of the way. And does the cell go there? There's nothing there, is there? No, there's nothing there. So the cell goes here. And you can't take that, of course, because why, traders? We're in a weekly buy, right? Yeah. And then we go into a daily buy, right? Let's move that out of the way. We go into daily buy right there. And again, another winner. So it's 4-1. And what is that? That's a minus. Is that a minus? No, it's not. Is it? Yes, it is. It's a minus. So we go into a sell there. And right now we are flirting with a buy. We can get rid of these guys. So it's a 4-1 winner. And then we can go like this, and you can see we're flirting with a sell. Is it a seller? No, it's a buy. That's what. Okay, so we're flirting with the buy again, and that is that. And what we'll do is we'll get rid of these things. And you could, let's see, remove. There we are. So that's it right there. The GBP CHF. You like that 47? I like doing that. That is fun. You know, to do it live in front of everybody. I like that. You know, like, you know, tell me how gutsy that is as a technician to be able to, you know, show, you know, someone goes, okay, you know, I'm going to look at this chart. and so you put it up there, and then you're going to put your math into it to show where you would go long and short. You know what kind of some type of risk that takes. You know, when it comes to if my work wasn't this good, I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't do these webinars. I just wouldn't. I probably wouldn't be trading then either. If my work wasn't that good. But anyway, I love doing it. I mean, it's exciting. That's why I say you don't even, like I say to Andy, don't raise your hand. Just jump right in, baby. The water's warm. You know, you want to price out moon rocks? Give me the contract symbol. We'll go see how many were being bought or sold. I mean, honestly, I'll try anything. You know, if I can get a chart on it, we'll put our math to it. That's pretty much the way it rolls. All right, so that was that. I think I'll save this. This is kind of cool. There we go. Save. All right, now let's see. Where do we drift over to? Oh, I know what it is. I'm going to go check out some of the where's it at? Let's go check out the grains. See what the grains are doing. There we are. Remember, ever since 2008, commodities now are our currency. Are a currency. They are. They really are. Because central banks now have defined the values of what pairs trades should be, and so they are supporting them, and they're participating at support and resistance areas. I think that's the best way to describe it. They are participating in the support and resistance areas. Yeah. Okay, so like here's we'll go through the. You have any particular Andy? Do you have any particular grain you'd like to see? This is May soybeans. Let's refresh that. And you can see here, I guess yesterday it was showing some type of life, but it's in a daily sell. And it's been moving down for a couple of days, but not anywhere particular. And we're flirting with a weekly sell as we speak. That's why we have the little red dotty, or the pink little dotty line that matches the pink weekly sell line. And just to remind you how close we are, you can see there it's very close. What is that? Actually, right now it's back into the plus side. It's just on the edge. It's just moved up. You can see that 0.35 at the moment on plot 1. So it's just on the plus side. It's literally moved up from that. Corn, beans, please. Sure. All right, so there's the beans in May. Would you like to see the back month bean, like November beans, the new crop? We've found that to be relatively fascinating of late, the back months and the front months. We've got farmers paying attention to both of it, and So we try to accommodate it all. So like here's a good example, like corn. Uh, just do that first. Look at corn. You got corn in the daily sell. We're in a weekly sell, so you could go short here. They tortured you there, and they're barely just giving it back to you there. At the same time, let's give that a refresh. And okay, yeah, so it's lower now. So it's lower than where it started from with the daily sell there. Doesn't look like it's moving into a buy. Let's save that. And then at the same time, we can go and take a look at back month, because Robin and I did a thing on that yesterday. You can see here, oh, look at that, Robin. They're putting some pressure into the back month all of a sudden. And you can see the strength that we had going into here. Now if you're not looking at something like our quantitative mathematics, you would have no idea that some type of weakness is trying to kick in. And you can see right here that it's holding up so much better. And it's still in a buy, no doubt about that, but it's trying. Now this is a super. This is gas 3.5. So the white histogram is the 3, and the green line is the 5. Now, and then you can see here the weekly is run on a gas line 5. So it's holding up really well in the weekly. Whereas if we go back to, let me save that too while I'm there. And if we go back to, let's move that off the line there. The May corn, you can see the dichotomy, the difference between them right there. Where it's been in a weekly sell for over a week, still staying in there. You can see it's moved down from the weekly signal, which was, I guess, the close of this week there. So that pressure, it hasn't really gone anywhere, but the pressure is down, and then you can see it here. It's trying to go down, and you can see here in the price it's trying to go down. So you can see that pressure there. But the back month and the front months are a little tricky. You can't just automatically think just because the one is, the other is going to be. Now, here is the November beans. Remember I said I'd go back to that. You can see November beans holding up very well. Let's give it a refresh. Oh, look at that. When we gave it a refresh, it's pushing into a daily sell also. More pressure coming into the grains, I can see. Definitely more pressure coming in on them. But the weekly's holding up really well. But I guess it's gotten so tight, it's going to get, the action is becoming even more narrow. That's what it really comes down to. How was that, guys? Is that cool or what? All right. What else I want to see? I know what I want to see. I want to take a look at this, the stock combo. La 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 la. And I want to close this one. There it is. There we go. And now let's check out the stock combo. They should be trading some of this stuff. Let's see. The stock combo. There it is. Oh yeah, look at the ARC, Robin. They're selling it down a little bit again today. It tried to go into the buy there last night, but we got a red and a green dot. So I put the little green line there, and now I can get rid of that little green line solely because she's already back underneath again. So there was no chance to buy that. And that's where that is. Let's save that. Let's see, where's that at? ARC. Right there. Let's find ARC. Where are you, ARC? It's around here somewhere. Let me just save it. Oh, it's next to Apple. That's why. Oh, there it is. Okay, now let's take a look at coffee right there. See, coffee went into the buy there. It's in the weekly, trying to climb and close in the weekly buy there. So that's pretty cool. And the strength is kicking out on that. Everybody needs their Java, We need our Java. Crank us up. And that's what's going on with the coffee. And that was, is that today? No, that's yesterday. Because today's the 12th, excuse me. So we're seeing some good action in the coffee. Let's see, where are you? J-O. J-O, J-O, J-O. That must be J-O. There we are. And then let's take a look at the dollar index. Dollar index is popping up. All right, let's give it a refresh and see how that's working out. Got a little red dot there at the moment. And these lines have not moved up, but we're still in a weekly buy. So we'll have to watch and see what they're going to do with that. It's going to be interesting. This whole market is just dynamic on such a scale now. It just flies. As an old volatility trader, and trading through all forms of volatility, this is a uniqueness now. This is everything the old guys used to say to us young guys on the New York Stock Exchange when I was a member there. They would look at us in disdain, and they would blame us. You guys are making this market too active. They would be like, you could be walking from the train with them or something like that, or coming in from the subway, and one of them would always say something like, there was always this reminiscing attitude as they're walking, and one of them would be things used to move a half or 3/8 in a year. Now you moves 3/8 in a minute. They hated the volatility. They really did. Okay, here we go. Here's the diamonds, and that's trading live. That's being updated now. Where are you, diamond? Right there. There we go. And I'm just going to give it another refresh. There we go. And then, so we did diamonds, UUP, coffee, and the ARC. Okay, that's where we're at. I'll close that out. Yeah, they used to blame us all the time. You guys made this market too volatile. They had a license to steal as it was. For them to complain even more was ridiculous. And then, let's see, let me just open this one up. I just want to finish off the currencies. And there is the currencies. So there's that AUD JPY holding up pretty well. In a weekly buy, a daily buy, it's doing all right. Let's give it a refresh. But it's holding up very well in here. What a good product that is. These exotic pairs can be really, really good to trade. And then there's the euro. You can see that it's trying to hold up in the daily buy, but it's in the weekly sell, so there's no trade there. And then remember, traders, I always say, there's three positions. There's a long position, there's a short position, and there's a neutral position where you shouldn't be doing anything. And it kind of rotates, or you straddle out, do whatever just to be neutral. And then here is the cable, as we looked at it earlier. You can see that's flirting too, but it isn't a weekly buy. So, the strength was okay, and now it just seems to have rolled over from some type. I think it's the 1.6 on the 10-year in the United States. That has people paying attention to it. Money is paying attention to that. Supposedly, they're going to get all kinds of nuts if it gets past the 1.6 area. I don't know. We'll see. So traders, pay attention to the 10-year bond in the United States / note. That's where notes and bonds change. You go from a note to a bond at the 10% area. 10-year period. I'm sorry, 10-year period. And so that's what we saw with the action of these products. All right. Let's see. Where else do we go from there? Close. Good. And let's see. What else can we look at here? Cattle. Let's see what that. Look at that, Robin. The hogs are doing really good. I bet Doc is doing fine, Pork and beans. And there's the hogger. And then here's the front month cattle, delivery cattle, basically. That's in a sell, and it's been in a daily and a weekly sell for a couple of weeks. So it's had its pressure on it. Let's see, let's reload that. That was interesting, in the sense that, we went into the daily sell here, and then we went into the weekly sell at the end of that week here. And, it's been a nice break. It was a good winner chicken dinner. These meat products trade a little bit slower. It's interesting. That's why I run a gas 5 on the daily. It's like, you know, they move very lethargic in many ways. Deliberate but lethargic. It's like moving the cattle, or worse, moving the milkers to the parlor. Oh my God. Moving the milkers to the parlor. Ugh. All right. Let's see. What is that? April cattle. There we are. And then we did corn already. And there's the wheat. We didn't even look at wheat. Wheat's interesting. It's showing a little life in it again. Wheat has its own, you know, if there was like the crypto of grains, I would call it wheat. Wheat has a habit of doing whatever it wants to do when it wants to do it. Because I always find that to be interesting. It's in a weekly sell for a week here. And, you know, it went into the daily, it's been in a daily sell. And then on Wednesday, it went into a daily buy, but you're in a weekly sell, so you can't take the trade. And, you know, it has rolled over, which is curious in its own right. And, you know, it's holding up. Let's put it that way. No, not paste. No, not paste. Let me get rid of that. There we are. And let's save that. Save image. There we are. Now, why does that say soy? Oh, I ended up on soybeans somehow or another. Let's go back to wheat. There it is. Yeah, they're like the cryptos of the grains. Wheat will do its thing to choose to go in whatever direction it wants to, and no one else has joined in with it. Next thing you know, you're like, what's wheat doing up $2 or, you know, 10 cents? And then there is the bean oil, and I think Robin saved one of our charting clients this week. They were trying to get the poor guy to go short this thing like 7 days ago or something like that, or I guess like last week. You know, and I think we even wrote an article about it because of that. It was like, oh my God, no, don't sell this thing. The brokerage houses are telling these guys to go sell it. It's like, no, don't sell it. This thing's in a weekly buy and a daily buy. That's not something you want to short. And so then, and then sure enough, look at it. It ran up even more. And today that is today, right? Yeah, today it's moving down a little bit at the moment. We'll see what goes with that. And then the soybean meal. What a classic. What a great example of quantitative analysis. It's been in a daily sell since here and a weekly sell basically the same time that week. And that's all it does is go down. And it's, you know, it just goes down. That's it. It just keeps on going down. Finds a way. Not going fast and furious, but it's going down. It just keeps on finding ways to fall down. And it's a ZM, so that is the meal right there. Let's see. And then here's my other favorite. I really do like watching the red wheat. Let's get rid of that line. There we are. And then let's widen this thing. No, not that one. There we are. You can see here, it's tried to get into the sell, but we were a red and a green, so you couldn't. So it's been in a sell here. Since here, it's been in a daily sell. And it's been in the weekly sell since here. But it was the daily buy kept you safe, so you didn't get trapped in that stuff. So that worked out really well. That's how you read this, Andy. You know, you watch the weeklies, you watch the dailies, and chances are you're going to be a winner chicken dinner. And then we did that corn. And then we'll go look at feeders. Feeders are in a buy. It was flirting with a buy. What's it doing now? It's minus again. So I'm going to remove that like that. It's back into the sell again. Back in the sell again. I'm the singing trader. And save the feeders. Save the planet. And that's the action there. Now here's something cool to look at. This is February cattle. And you can see we have the cattle in April, you know, in a weekly sell for a few weeks, and the pressure's coming down and products going down and all that. And then you take a look at Feb, next year's cattle right there. And it's in a weekly buy, just cruising along and not dealing with any of those issues whatsoever. Save. Sesame. So did we give you a nice little introductory there, Ann? Was it pretty good or what? I want to make sure you're absorbing it. Robin will be able to communicate more with you about it. But you're always welcome to ask a question or say throw this particular chart up or that chart or something of that nature. We try to make it simple. We fly with the keep it simple, stupid philosophy. We just figure that it's hard enough to trade. Why make it crazy? Let's not make it too complicated where you got to look at this, that, and the other thing. It's just like there's two things. Boom, there it is. And then that's April cattle, also acting very firm in the back months. Yes, indeed. And that's the whole philosophy of it all around here, traders. We kind of think of this as the cyber pit, and our whole objective, we have the fact check spreadsheet over here, right there. You can see that right here. And you can see how many weeks something has been in a buy, like right there's the weekly buys, and how many weeks and how long it's been confirmed, and vice versa. This is the sells right there, and then there's your dailies. I don't put dailies in on everything, but on most of the things, let's put it that way. There, and then the daily sells are there. Just whatever's going on. Just because they clump up is just what they do. And that's what we try to do. We try to make it very, very easy. Yeah, it is. It really is. It is. It's very simplistic, and if you're a producer in any of these products, if you're in the mining business or the oil business or the energy business of any form, or if you're in the farming business and you're trying to market your product, it can keep you relatively safe. Can keep you out of trouble. In other words, you'll make more money. You'll make a lot more money on your crop that way. Because you'll be inside the trend and you won't give away your profits so fast. A lot of times, a lot of farmers, they give away their profits by selling the forward contract. Boom, done, over. But I mean, the real trick is to capitalize on those winning years where you get incredibly good prices. And this is one of those years. Where if anybody's who's been following our work in the grain side, they've I know Robin was talking to one of our clients who was up, he's not even farming, he's a dentist. He was up $250,000 at one point in something. It's just it keeps you in the trend. That's the key to everything, is being in the right trend. It doesn't but look at these things most of the time. Now this is cattle and it's back month. But let's go look at something in front month. It doesn't move smoothly. We're in a weekly buy here. And it goes up and it can go down. And that's what the daily tells us. And it goes back into a buy and goes up. And then, goes into a sell here. Goes down, but we're still in a buy. And then the weekly turns into a sell. And so now you're riding the south side of this. So that's really the key to it all, is try to stay inside the trends. And our math, the Chicago Quant, really keeps you in the trends. So anyway, traders, that is it. Everybody have a safe and a smart weekend. We will catch you on the flip side on Monday. That'll be TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday. So happy trails to you until we meet again, which will be Monday. Happy trails to you, to all our cyber friends. Ta-ta for now.